Okay, I think I'm live, and I think I'm not muted. I think my microphone's on, and I think you can see me. Welcome to the amateur hour at Flippin' Hippos, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Friday. We are almost through April already. Can you believe it? May 1st is Monday. So, finish out today productively, finish out the weekend productively, and Monday will be a new month. That's my favorite kind of Monday. The only way you can get better than that is if it's a Monday that's a new month and a new quarter. I love fresh starts. I've always loved the idea of a fresh start, and every day is a fresh start. We're going to be talking a lot about mistakes in today's live show, and just remember that every morning when you get up, yesterday's mistakes don't matter because you've already made them. You can't change the past, and I mean, we're all human, I hope. We're all human. We make mistakes. And so every day when you wake up, it's a fresh start and you can just move forward and learn, and if you're a part of the reselling community and you make these connections and these friendships, you can share your mistakes with others and you guys can all have a good laugh about it because you got to laugh at yourself. And then everybody can learn from it. So that's what we're going to really be talking about today. I'm going to put my eyes on and say hi to some folks. Oh, you guys got to see these. I pulled these out for my listening party today. I'm like, let me tell you guys about some Star Wars. Oh, I cracked myself up. That's good. All right, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Jason Wells was here first. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jay. That's my roommate for Phoenix. Debbie's here. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Sherry, Marianne, Christy, thank you for coming. Della's here. Hi, Della. Darlene, Lucille. Oh my gosh, so many familiar faces. This is so good. Great. We now have a sign on our wall that says 365 new days, 365 new chances. I love it. Hi, Mary. I'm glad your chat's working now. We all make mistakes. And guess what? Even veteran sellers make mistakes. I still make mistakes. I make mistakes every day in reselling, in life, in general. Because again, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. And if you think you are, you got another think coming, as my grandma used to say. Hey, Don, welcome in. Hey, Pete. So, I sure could use a dose of cheerful star on this cheer. Aw, thank you. Although your little dose of cheerful star is going to start out with a angry, tough love star. All right. I do have some exciting housekeeping first. You guys, my Mid-Atlantic online reseller group is officially part of the eBay seller meetings now. Dun, 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 dun. That's the Superman noise since I'm a dork. I'm going to put the link here. If you live in Western PA or within driving distance of Pittsburgh, I encourage you to try to make this meetup. It is a week from Monday, so it's kind of last minute notice. But Bill and David will be here in person. Bill, my bestie that's always on the channel, he'll be here. Cheryl, Yaya Rambles, will be here. And Scott and his daughter are coming in from Texas. You might know him as Dusty Relics. They're all going to be here. It is my birthday. We're going to have fun. We're going to celebrate. We're official on eBay now. I mean, come on. That's a great birthday present, right? So that's the link. You have to buy tickets the way the eBay setup is set up. So I just put that they're zero cost. We meet at a restaurant. You don't have to buy food. They appreciate it if you do. We get to use their conference room for free. If you can't make May 8th, that's not officially my birthday. My birthday's May 9th, but we're celebrating like the whole weekend when people are here. There's a link to the Facebook group that you can join, and then you can come to another meeting at a different time if you would like. We are currently getting started, so we're going to be having, as new members come in, we're going to be flexible. We can do different days of the week, different places to meet and stuff like that. I'm trying to get a Friday one going at some point, so my friend Wendy can drive in from Ohio, and Julie Brown, downtown Julie Brown. You guys know her because she bought the Masonite place. She said if we have one on Friday, she and her husband would be able to come out. So that would be cool too. Hello from North Carolina. Thank you for taking the time to help us. Thank you so much. You know what? I really needed to hear that today. It's been a week on the channel and in the Facebook group. So yes, it is nice to hear once in a while that I'm not just talking to my stuffed animals in here and the wall. And that B, somebody at least appreciates me and doesn't think I'm a total person. I almost said a bad word. Back seat full of plush. Woo woo! That's my favorite kind of back seat. All right, you guys. Before we get into the topic of today's live show on this remember the very special episodes back when we were kids, if you're my age? The sitcoms would have very special episodes where they would deal with something very serious business like drugs or whatever. So we're going to have a very special episode of the Flippin' Hippos. And we're going to have a little talk right now. I lived in Jacksonville for a while, people. My throat is so dry. On this very special episode of Flippin' Hippos, Star addresses trolls and assholes on her channel and group and has a tough love conversation. Here's the thing. This is a teaching channel, right? So I'm here to teach. If you don't like what I'm teaching, don't watch. It's free for you to watch. It's free for you to get information. But there are hundreds and thousands of other reselling YouTubers. There's hundreds and thousands of other YouTube channels, period, with other topics. There's all kinds of stuff to stream on the TV. There's all kinds of podcasts to listen to. If you don't like it, don't watch. I mean, I don't know why that's so hard for people to comprehend. But because it's a teaching channel, that means this is not a drama channel. I know that some people just love their drama and they gotta have their drama and they want to fight and they want to troll. And people get so brave behind a keyboard, don't they? They get so brave behind the keyboard. And that's cool, but not here. Because this is not a drama channel. This is a teaching channel. So I'm never going to argue with people in the comments. Period. Let me repeat that. I will never argue with people in the comments. So if you come here and you want to leave mean comments, they're getting deleted and you're getting banned. Because I'm not going to argue with you. First of all, I have more important things to do with my time than argue with strangers on the internet. And maybe you need to reassess your life too if you're here to leave comments and troll and be mean. Maybe you should be working on your reselling business instead of in the Facebook groups crying about how you don't have any sales and being rude on other people's YouTube channels. But I'm never going to argue. You're just going to, I delete hundreds of comments a week. So you're not going to get your moment of fame. You're not going to get your argument from me, okay? Second of all, my Facebook group, I pride myself on my Facebook group being one of the very few groups, List Perfectly and Boss are really good groups as well. But there's very few groups that are drama-free, positive atmospheres, a place where someone can go to ask questions unafraid of being made to feel stupid. And my group is one of those places. And when someone new to my group makes their very first post to say, oh my gosh, the very first thing I saw in here was X, Y, and Z. Does this happen often? You're going to piss me off. Don't be a turd. Do you remember the number one rule of my group? The number one rule is don't be a turd. Don't be a turd. It's that easy. And listen, if you're going to be a turd and I'm going to call you out for being a turd, don't try to backpedal and paint yourself as the victim. I'm not calling out names, but you know who you are and you know what went down last night and you really pissed me off. I had 3 hours of sleep. I had a headache. I was trying to watch Halloween and take notes for my true crime channel to do a movie review this weekend. And my phone was blowing up. messages and all these people and all this stuff was going down, and it just irritated me. But if you're going to act like a turd and I'm going to call you on it, shut up. Just say you're sorry. Don't say you're sorry. I don't care. Leave the group. Goodbye. But shut up. Don't backpedal and double down. I mean, this person just doubled down and just kept backpedaling. If you say something rude and you're called out for it by several people in the group telling you maybe it really wasn't what you said, but how you said it, you came across as rude. And then the admin of the group comes in and says, hey, listen, you've been a part of the group for 5 years, and you come across as very aggressive and negative sometimes. I think that's time to just let it go. Oh, but no, now we got to spin the narrative and write a novel about how I'm suddenly the victim and everyone's attacking me for having a different business model and a different opinion. You can have 15 different business models than mine. You can sell circus elephants off of a train out of your backyard. I don't care. Just say it nicely. We can talk about how we all have different business models and we all have things that we do differently in our business, and we can debate it and have real conversations. Like, you can contribute to the conversation and to the learning without being a total asshat. Okay. So, just to let you know, I'm done. So I'm just going to start booting people, because here's the thing. People like to cry about, oh, it's her way or the highway, pretty much, because it's my group. Okay. So I spent 6 years building this YouTube and 6 years building the Facebook that corresponds with it. And it's mine. And I want things a certain way. And I want a certain atmosphere in there. And I want people to be positive. And there's rules to follow. And I mean, I know that people get booted out of these reselling groups all the time. And then they run around to everyone in the community. Oh, they are so mean. I didn't agree with them. I didn't have the same opinion. Well, usually it's because you don't know how to get the fact that you have a different opinion across. You're just rude. So my number one rule in my group, in fact, let's look at it together. Hey, if you're not in my group, you should be, because like I said, it actually is a really good group full of very positive people. I had my notes on my phone for what I wanted to say. Dun, 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 here it is. This is my Facebook group, okay? So here's the post I put up. Just a reminder, the number one rule in Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod is don't be a turd. Be nice. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. So I'm going to go back through the comments, and then we're going to talk about our mistakes. Thank you. Oh, you reminded me of something else I put in my notes here. So this is a teaching channel, and my group that corresponds to this channel is also a teaching place. It's a place for people to learn. And all I can do is tell you what works for me. So I can't do anything other than teach you guys and show you guys what Keith and I have done for years that have made us successful. What we've done to create a successful, sustainable business, and what we're doing to pivot as the economy moves towards a recession and we have inflation and all this. So that's all I can do. I can show you what we do, how we're successful. This is what works for us. This is how we're pivoting. This is how we're changing to accommodate the economy. And that may not be what you agree with or what you do, but I'm speaking from my experiences because this is my platform. This is my channel. I can only speak from my experiences. I'm not going to get on here and teach you guys about things I don't know about, or preach not doing free shipping, because I believe in free shipping and I think it works. So if you have a disagreement with how I do things, you're more than welcome to start a debate or a conversation. That's great. But if you want to be a turd about it, go start your own channel and teach people the right way, if I'm so wrong. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Crystal's here. Crystal's here. Carrie Berry's mom is here. Just say no to the turds, right? Yeah, truly, Lori, truly. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to meet you in person in Phoenix. We're going to have so much fun. Go make your own group, you turd. Where do I sign up to have circus elephants in my backyard? Wouldn't that be great? Especially if they were like Dumbo and they were all really cute and they could fly. Tell us how you really. I'm really not telling you how I really feel. Keith got to hear that last night, and it would demonetize this video. Okay, so that all said, I think we have no turds today in the chat. I'm going to tell you guys about some of the biggest mistakes Keith and I made in the beginning, and some of them are hilarious. And as I tell my stories, you guys, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. That does. Thank you. Hey, Roxy, welcome in. Mom says hello. Hi, Mom. So free shipping isn't really free. I said that kind of snotty because I think I'm still in snark mode. But free shipping isn't free. If the shipping prices go up, you raise your prices. I don't know how else to spell it out. If you sell your American Eagle jeans for $10 and then you charge $8 for your flat rate, I'm going to start mine at $20. That's $2 more than you anyway. And I have room for an offer. And, you know, every time the postal rates go up, you can go in your store and bulk all your prices up by 5% or start running your sales a little bit lower percentages. They would make very big turds. That's so funny. Okay, so as I tell you guys my story, my allergies are still bad. And I do remember, Crystal, last week you told me about the Zyrtec. I checked with my doctor, and one of the side effects would affect another medication I'm on. So I'm stuck with just my Claritin and my Flonase at night. That's my spraying it on my nose face. Okay, so as I'm telling you guys my stories and the mistakes we made, if you want to share your own over here in the comments, the one that makes me laugh the most or that I like the most or whatever, I'm going to give you something at the end of the show. And then give away a free month of List Perfectly as well. Okay? So, if you haven't heard the story, and most of you probably have, but I'm going to tell it again anyway. When Keith started his eBay, it was just him and it was like a hobby. And he actually started it to sell off some of his action figures he was getting rid of. So he was like downsizing a lot of his nerd stuff and then getting new nerd stuff. And then as he started doing that, he started delving in and realizing, hey, this could be like an actual living. He had always wanted a retail store to sell nerd stuff like comic books and stuff. But a brick and mortar is really hard to run. And quite frankly, I'm sure he can hear me, but I love you. He doesn't have the personality for it. He's very reclusive. He doesn't really like to be in social situations or around a lot of people, and that's okay. I mean, he's still my best friend. But he decided that he was going to make something out of his eBay. So he was building that up for a couple of years, and he was saving his money. We do follow Dave Ramsey, and we are debt-free, and we have been for years. I don't think we've had debt in 15, 20 years, maybe. I mean, like, not since I was with the kid's dad. So he was building up his savings account, like 6 months of expenses, and building his eBay store up and getting prepared to quit his job and do this full time. And I got hurt at work, and they were refusing to give me light duty. And basically I didn't have a job anymore, and I couldn't work outside of the home. So he said, why don't you do this full time? And I said, yeah, but what about you? You know, because like now we're replacing my income. And basically he gave up for me, and he continued to work. He hated his job. He was miserable. It was such a poop job. It wasn't that bad. He was like in shipping and receiving at Bayer, aspirin people, but he really had wanted to do this. So we decided that we were going to do a huge push. And I know I always preach to you guys about work-life balance. And if you manage your time well, you really can work just Monday through Friday, 8-hour days. Except, in the beginning, and I do say that, in the beginning of anything, when you're building something new, you're going to have to put in more time and more effort until you get it built to where you want it. And then you can back off and just maintain. So in the beginning, we did, work a lot harder. I worked 12 to 14-hour days, 6 days a week. He worked his full-time job. He came home and did this part-time. And we really, really pushed it out because we were trying to replace my income, build an even bigger savings. We decided that since we were both going to do this full-time, we wanted a year's worth of money in the bank for expenses and emergencies. We also wanted a whole separate account with a bunch of capital built up for just in cases. And we wanted to have a bunch of death piles built up. And so we really worked hard for a lot of years, from 17 until 20, when Keith finally got his job and joined me. So we didn't watch any YouTubers. We weren't really part of any Facebook groups at the time. I wasn't on YouTube yet. I wasn't on YouTube until after our first year of reselling. So that first year was, and we weren't cross-posting. We were just really on eBay for all of 2017. And I was listing 50 items a day. I know that sounds a lot, but like I said, I was putting in a lot of hours. And we weren't doing anything else. That was all I was doing. So no YouTube, no Facebook, no other platforms. My throat is so dry. Okay, so we weren't really part of any groups. My first reseller friend was Jamie Pace when I finally started getting into groups and talking to people. He's the Thai guy, if you don't know who he is. So we didn't watch any YouTubes, and we were really just self-taught. So what we did was go to the bins a lot and just keep turning it back over, turn and burn. And we would buy everything. So this is where I'm saying this is a mistake, because now you guys know you can join Facebook groups. You can go to listing parties if you're a List Perfectly member. You can go on Instagram. You can watch thousands of people on YouTube. There's so much content out there that you really don't have to do what we did, which is buy everything. We would go to the bins, and if it looked like it wasn't damaged or gross, we brought it home and we washed it and dried it and we listed it and we sold it. Everything. Walmart brands, Kmart brands, because we didn't know anything from anything when we started. Because, like I said, Keith was doing comic books and stuff and electronics and video games. When I really started to push into the game, we started doing the clothes because they're ample. You can find clothes everywhere, and you can find them at a low cost of goods. And I wear jeans and graphic t-shirts, and Keith wears his little, I don't know, those pants guys wear. He loves them. The cargo pants. He wears those and graphic t-shirts. We didn't know brands. I didn't know anything. So we just bought everything. And then when we finally had enough capital built up, we stopped going to the bins because ew. Because ew, you got two germaphobes here. We didn't like it. So as soon as we built up enough capital, we started going to the 99-cent thrift days around here. And just, if it was 99 cents, we bought it. We were not discerning at all. Okay. If it was 99 cents, it came home. So that's how we learned. So we learned by buying everything real cheap. We'd get it home and hi, Brian. We would find out when we brought it home if it was poop, bread and butter, or a bolo. And that was eventually why we started selling our clothing guide, which then launched into a plush guide and eventually a separate jeans guide, because we were doing all of this research on our own. We were learning by experience. We were learning by doing, and then we just put it all into a guide for other people to not have to do what we did. I don't really necessarily know that it was, hi Tammy, too much of a mistake, because we did learn a lot. we were able to list a lot and do a lot of really low end volume sales and get built up real quick. But you don't have to do it that way anymore. There's a lot of information out there. So the first big mistake was buying a lot of poop brands. But even bigger than that, okay, when we first started joining Facebook groups, finally, we were fed some pretty bad information. Hi, Sabrina. And I think all newbies eventually hear about this and do this. You guys, I did a thing. I'm trying to pull up the something I can show you. All right. You ready for this? I did this. I went to the bins and I heard that Beanie Babies were worth so much money. And they had rolled out all these Beanie Babies. And no, they weren't worth any money. You can see here in this video, I'm putting them all in a box. I was trying to auction them off. They actually did sell on an auction. That person never paid, so I did the second chance to the second winner. They never paid. You want to know how I eventually got rid of these things? Right before we moved to Florida, I got a hold of the children's hospital here wouldn't take them because of COVID. Everything around here was really weird. I really wanted to give them to the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital, but they wouldn't take them. So I went and found some domestic violence shelters where women take their kids and gave them all my Beanie Babies for free. Just have them, that way when they bring the kids there, they could pick a toy and, I don't know, maybe find a little comfort. So I did have to eventually just give them away, but Beanie Babies. And yes. So I do also remember, I guess it was the summer of 2017. We found all these black diamond Disneys, this red, white, and blue. We bought them all. We bought tons of movies and VHS tapes thinking they were going to be worth money. They weren't. We also thought that, I don't know what we thought. We would go to the yard sales and just buy junk. Like, I really don't know. Actually, my note here says, we went to yard sales and bought so much shit, to be frank. I don't know what we were thinking. I would buy all these little dumb Avon things, and I really don't know. I think we were just in this mode in the beginning. If the cost was $1 or less, buy it all, bring it home and learn. But we bought so much crap. We had 2 tables in our eBay room, which was the attic at that time. Or not, this is like an eBay office room. We had all of our inventory in the attic out there at our old place. We had 2 tables loaded down with coffee mugs that were dumb that no one was ever going to buy, shot glasses that people were never going to buy, dumb doodads and doohickeys from Avon and Tupperware. I mean, but I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't study this. I didn't watch YouTube. I just bought everything and learned. Eventually, we had to donate a lot of stuff because where we lived, our old place here in Pittsburgh before we went to Florida, you couldn't have yard sales. So that was definitely a learning experience, though. The best lessons learned are from the mistakes you make. I started in 2007 before social media was even a thing. Yeah, I can imagine. Brian just sold one. Yeah, I know you still have I still have some. I mean, that initial set that I showed you in that video, I did donate because we were moving. And excuse my dry throat. Hold on. I'd mute my camera for a second while I cough, but I probably would never get the darn thing back on. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, We had almost 5,000 active listings, and then when we moved to Florida, we dropped down to under 2,000. So we were getting rid of stuff basically because we were moving. So I just donated all of them, but I still have them. I mean, they still come to me in the wholesale lots and stuff, and I just list them. You guys know if I buy stuff in a wholesale lot, I'm going to list. If it's listable and it's not going to like be damaged and it's a Walmart brand or Beanie Baby, I don't care. I paid for the whole lot. I'm going to make as much money as I can off of it. Here, I just did a search in my store and I'll show you. I'm going to learn how to use the computer someday. All right. I have 11 Beanie Babies in there right now. This one's up for 12, 17. But there's some good ones too. If you guys saw that ginger cat I sold last week for $30. So they're not all bad. I like the Beanie Buddies. But this one's up for $10. So I don't know. He's a poop. Apparently Ruby the monkey, unfortunately for her, she's a poop. You're a poop, Ruby. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you is a poop. All right. Next. When I was building my unlisted inventory bins for my plush, I missed a notch in a tower. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'll tell you a secret, Jill. I still don't really check stuff through rates. We do update our clothing guide every year. And as we're doing the research for that, we kind of take note of what's really bad and just keep it up here. I also have my, I actually use my own guides all the time. I have them saved to my phone. And when I'm at the thrift, I check my own guides, my jeans guide and my clothing guide all the time to check the average sell-through rate, the sell price, and all of that. But I just kind of know what not. I guess I feel like I know it all when it comes to jeans now, which is a nice segue into the next mistake. But I feel like we're going to have to take away my Plushie Queen title and rename it the Jeans Queen. I really just get whatever I know sells. I don't comp. I have a price list in my head. It's actually part of my jeans guide. So when Keith's listing our jeans, he uses that to price. But here's the thing. You guys know that I list and source a lot and sell a lot of jeans. It's one of my favorite things. But when we first started reselling, I used to not have this bad allergy. So we had this pair of pants. Sorry. We had this pair of pants. We had one pair of pants from our first trip to the Benz, and they were Abercrombie and Fitch. And they were men's khaki cargos, and they weighed over a pound. And somehow I didn't know about padded flat rates or the flat rate envelopes. I didn't know about flat rates at all. In fact, I think at that time, I didn't even know that you could go to USPS.com and order free supplies at all. So, and I was learning and I was new, and we made a ton of shipping mistakes too, by the way. I mean, we did free shipping from the beginning mostly, but we weren't building enough into the price. Stuff was selling to Puerto Rico and Hawaii, so we were eating it. And so that was when we started eating a lot of money for shipping. That was when we had first started the initial, if it's first class, free shipping, build it into the price. But anything over a pound, we're just going to have to do calculated shipping, because you can assume it's going to cost $8 or $10 to ship. But every time you do that, someone in Hawaii buys it, right? Someone in Puerto Rico. Anyway, this very first pair of pants that sold, I put in a box, and it cost like $12 to ship these pants that they paid like $12 for. And so we made the executive decision, in all of our wise knowledge of reselling at the time, that we were never going to source or sell jeans or pants because they just cost too much to ship. And too many of them were at a price point where you couldn't really afford to ship them. Now, mind you, this is because we thought the only option for shipping pants was in a box, a brown box that we paid for because we didn't even know about. That was probably the funniest one. I will never forget putting those pants in that box and putting it on the scale and just like, oh my God, we're just starting out. And and so for a year, like for the first full year, or maybe even a year and a half of reselling, we avoided jeans and pants. And then I met Megan Mulwiney, and she's the other jean queen. She told me about flat rates, and they were like $8 to ship a pair of pants. You mean all these pants that I keep seeing for 99 cents, these jeans, I can sell for $20? Oh, yeah. Well, now that's like my favorite thing, but that's one of my favorite stories. I didn't know about Google Lens or how to look items up. I knew how to look items up and how to comp. I just didn't care. Everything was so cheap and we were learning, so we just bought everything. Shipping was a nightmare. I'm telling you, we were fine on first class because you can average, well, even back then, first class had a flat rate, if you remember correctly, per ounces. Now first class is like based on weight and distance. Do you guys remember when first class was only based on weight? So if it was a 2-ounce tie, it was going to cost $2.50 back then, whether it went to Hawaii, California, or Florida. So we were really good at building the prices in for first class, but it was just these heavier items. We would guesstimate what we would do. Don't laugh at us. We would go and create a fake label. And we would do worst case scenario for us from Pittsburgh. We would put a 90210. We would put a 90210 because it was California all the way across the country. And that would be our worst case scenario until the person in Hawaii or Puerto Rico about it. It was a hot mess. Hot mess. Did free shipping to Canada once. ... Once. I missed those too, Christy. I miss the old padded flat rates. Remember when they used to be more stretchy and pliable? Remember the days when you would take a blow dryer and blow hot air in there and stretch it out and get like a 4XL men's hoodie in there? Those were the days. There was this one time I was getting the 4XL hoodie. I was fighting it. And Keith's over in the corner. Y'all are familiar with Mortal Kombat. He was going, fight! Finish him! It was so funny. Oh, wow. So you shipped all your first class in a padded flat and paid that rate even when you didn't need to. That's a mistake. Yeah, I hear that a lot, Tammy. I do understand how blessed I am. There is a reason why we didn't stay in Florida for very long and came back up here where the getting is good. I love my 99-cent days. You had to get the zip code to know how much to charge and had to wait for money orders or checks to clear. Yeah, my stepmom sold on eBay back in those days too. And I used to watch her do it and have to come home from work and take pictures and on her digital camera and upload it to her computer. And then all the effort she had to go through to ship it. And I remember thinking, like, this is too much. Like, who would ever want to sell on eBay? This is like too much work. Look at me now. All right. What else did we do? We did. This is a good one. I used to never put the inches of the plushies in the listing anywhere. And I just assumed people would know the difference between this guy and this guy. I don't know what I was thinking. I only did it for a very short. I mean, I do know what I was thinking. I was brand new to listing on eBay, and I didn't understand, and I was underestimating buyers. But, yeah, I did a couple of listings of Plush without Now I include the picture of the plush laying next to the measuring tape and everything, and I put the inches in several places. Description, title, specifics, size. But I used to just take pictures of them and list them. And honestly, the buyers, they couldn't tell. I can't believe I was that naive or dumb, but I was. And I didn't do it for very long because we finally got a return. I think it was a tie, to be honest. I think it was a tie beanie. And the buyer wanted to open a return because she had assumed it was going to be this size. And when it came, it was smaller than she expected. And she apparently collected, I think it was monkeys. I think she collected like all of the different color monkeys. And the one she bought from us was smaller than her other ones. And so she didn't want it because it didn't complete her collection. And you can't really blame her. But at the time, I was like, well, why didn't she ask? Like, it was stupid of me not to put the inches in, right? That's a huge mistake, a bad mistake. But I don't understand if you're a collector and you're looking for a certain size of something, why you wouldn't ask the seller if it's not in there before you buy it. I mean, come on. To this day, I still get dozens of messages a week asking me for measurements that are in the listing. That was weird that she didn't, I don't know. Anyway. Waiting in the post office to have all your packages scanned. We used to just do the bulk sheet. Somehow we knew about that from the very beginning. We always did a bulk sheet. But you know what we didn't do, and this is on my list to tell you about? We should have got a thermal printer a lot sooner than we did. We could have afforded one a lot sooner than we got one. I don't know why we didn't. I think we just thought it was a waste of money. I don't know what we were thinking. We were printing stuff out one by one, and we were volume sellers from the beginning. I mean, once I had been at this for like 2 months after I lost my job or got hurt. I think it only took like 2 months, and we were at 2,500 listings already, and then we just grew from there. So we were selling 10 to 15 items a day almost right away once we started rolling. And we were printing these labels on tapping it like you can see it, but it's a regular laser printer. So we were paying extraordinary amounts for ink for the paper. Then you had to cut it in half and then tape it on the package. So now you're spending money on tape and time and everything else. We should have got a thermal printer a lot sooner. The time it takes to tape those labels. Yes, Mary. And you have to cut them and everything. I love it, Lucille. Yeah, I always respond with, hi, thanks for your interest in this item. All of the measurements are in the description! Exclamation point. Sorry, if you can't be bothered to read, I'm not retyping something I already put in the listing. Oh, here's a good one. Y'all, we didn't buy one for like the first year. We also did not have an inventory system. I think I put up a video about that too. Let me see. I think I really did. Because here's the thing. We were growing really fast. Like I said, we went from like 5 listings to 2,500 in under 2 months. We grew really fast. And I don't know why I try to talk and look at stuff, because clearly I'm not good at multitasking like that. Other types of multitasking I can do, but well, we kind of did have one, but it wasn't that good. So we had some bins and we put A, B, C, D, but we would just throw clothes in there until it was full and put a lid on it and then try to dig through it and find stuff. It was a mess. So we eventually revamped it to what we do now, where everything goes into a poly bag and has an actual tag and a location on it. And I do have a video. It's old and cringy. But organize your eBay inventory before it's too late. So we were just throwing stuff in there, these bins, and then stuff was getting mixed up, and it just became too much. So I eventually had, when we hit about 1,000 listings, we had 1,000 listings. I took an entire week. It might have been more than 1,000, but I had to take an entire week off of listing and just go bin by bin by bin and start giving the little numbers on each and like inventing this system we use now. Never let your handles dangle on your package bag when you fold it up and come out of the post office. You could get it caught on your legs and throw you to the ground. I trip on my own air. I'm walking and air trips me usually. I'm a huge klutz. That's a good idea. I like that. I know I have more on my list. Where did my list go? We didn't do the measuring tape with the Plush. No inventory system. And these are just, I'm going to go down through real fast because I think these are common for new sellers. We had bad photos, horrible lighting. We didn't have a photo set up at first. Like stuff was on a hanger on the back of the door. We did not have good titles until I actually went to eBay Open in 2018, and they had a breakaway session where one of the eBay people was teaching us about the formula to use. I didn't really they were bad. American Eagle jeans, women's size 8. That's all it would say. It was terrible. I pride myself on my titles now. I think they're pretty darn good, but titles, photos, no setup, no lighting. And you want to know what else? We should have started cross-posting sooner than we did. We really drug our feet on cross-posting. And I don't know why, if it was just me and Keith being stubborn, or I don't know. Maybe we were just so intent on getting that eBay store up to 4,000 listings, which we did, and then we dropped it down the move. But we really should have started cross-posting sooner than we did. I really drug my feet when it comes to Poshmark. I didn't like it. But now, cross-posting has more than doubled our income, and then it got even better with List Perfectly. I just can't imagine not doing it now. I feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot and doing yourself a disservice if you're not cross-posting. I should have started YouTube sooner than I did. I should have started doing affiliate links and getting other streams of income, especially passive ones. I have all of those in place now, years later, but hindsight's 2020. If I would have started setting these things up sooner than I did, they would be built up to bigger now and be, but they continue to build and they continue to be bigger. So it's fine, but we should have started sooner. I was not organized in the beginning. I would not batch work, I guess. So I would have a pile that would have 8 women's shirts, 5 men's shirts, 2 pants, 4 shorts, and 3 plush, 4 plush. And this would be my pile I would bring into my eBay office, or my office. I don't know why I call it my eBay office. I'm such a nerd. I would bring this pile in and I would measure and photograph. So, and one by one. So, no, that is not an organized way to work. That is not a streamlined way to work. That does not help you increase your speed or your processes. Nowadays, it's all jeans or all plush. And it's all measurements first, and then all photographs, and then the listing. Batch work really streamlines, really speeds you up. We didn't really take that many measurements, and I'm going to say meh, because I have my own theory on measurements, absolutely necessary for jeans because reasons. But I'm going to link a video for this because it's one of my unpopular opinions on men's shirts and volume only. Okay. So this is a link you guys can save. And you guys can watch it at your own leisure at a later time. And what will you be watching? You will be watching measurements and listings, reseller, and popular opinions number 9. Okay. I accidentally donated a bag. Oh no! Oh no. My Macari sales have been better since I started to include shipping in the cost. I need to convert more of my listings. Yes. And I cannot preach this enough. Like I said at the beginning of the video, not everyone's going to do everything my way. You don't always have to agree with me. But I do share with you guys what works for us, and we're successful. And I'm pretty confident that we have built a sustainable enough business that will weather the storm and come out of this, whatever's going on with the economy, fine on the other side. So, you can listen to me or not. I don't know what that was. You can listen to me or not. I'm like, that's just not. But, if it works for us and we're successful, I don't know why you wouldn't move. I mean, if I'm on YouTube teaching you how to do what we do, and you know that I also do DoorDash and Keith drives an Uber, well, then we're clearly doing something wrong. But Macari shipping is too high. Nobody wants to pay that. It's a turnoff for buyers. You can build it into your price. Free shipping is not really free. And then you can use Pirate Ship, which gives you a discount, a good one. And if you have a business credit card or something that has like cash back or bonus points or airline points, link that to your Pirate Ship and pay for your labels with that and make your money work for you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh my gosh, rips and tears and holes in jeans make them more valuable. Let me tell you, there's people that do it on purpose. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. I do the opposite. Like I said, we're not all going to agree all the time. I'm going to tell you some mistakes that I see other people making. I told you there's going to be a little bit of tough love in this one. So I've been on YouTube since 2018 and ran a Facebook group, and I've been in the community. I've gone to 2 eBay opens, 2 Boss remixes. I went to Boston for an eBay open and met a ton of resellers there. I've been to a FlipCon. I talk to a lot of resellers. I know a lot of people in the community. And for the most part, most of the people that I surround myself with and consider to be my friends are successful people. And they're the kind of people that can easily pivot and make changes when needed. But there are some people. Listen, let me tell you. You ever hear about Einstein saying when you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity? So 6 years of being in this position where I do answer emails and I get paid to do store reviews for people. Some of the same people from 6 years ago are still making the same mistakes. And what I don't understand is when you're paying me your valuable, good money to review a store, you trust me, right? When you give me money to review your store, you're saying, Star, your opinion is valuable. As a teacher, you're wise enough. You know what you're talking about. I'm going to give you my money, and you're going to tell me what I'm doing wrong. And you're going to give me some criticism and some critiques on what I can do better. So why aren't you applying what I tell you? I'm telling you, these people pay me for reviews. There's not that many of them, but it does happen. And I'm like, oh, your titles need work. Here's the formula. 2 years later. I'm still not making any sales. What am I doing wrong? Can you look at my store again? Oh, sure. You already paid for a review. I'll just peek at it and see. Your titles are still not fixed. Your pictures are still bad. Everything I told you 2 years ago that you're doing improperly, you're still doing improperly. You can shut my door if you want. Please. Thank you. That it's frustrating to me because whether I'm getting paid or not, I'm spending my time to do this for you, and you're spending your time to read the report. I do a written report with my reviews, and it's like, why aren't you applying it? Why? Why is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, and you're still asking me, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, you haven't even tried. Or this gets me too. And if this makes you feel some type of way, I'm sorry. And this is not directed toward hobby sellers. If you're a hobby seller or a part-time seller, this is not for you. So plug your ears for a minute. This is for folks who fancy themselves full-time sellers, but have like 100 listings and list one thing a week and death piles, and then come to me and want to know why they don't have any sales. And I say, well, are you organized? Do you have a to-do list? Do you have routines? How much are you listing every day? Make some goals. Let's bust some goals out together. You can email me. I'll email you back every morning and ask you what you're doing. And they don't change. I don't understand. If you can't change or implement things or pivot or learn how to do things better or take things in and the criticism and the critiques that you're getting from other resellers in the community, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Or the people that are like, I'm going to look into that. And they tell me that all the time for 6 years. Well, clearly you're not going to look into it. And you never have and you never will. I can only teach people, again, what works for me. And I can only take you so far. If you don't want to listen, I guess you're going to have to go drive an Uber. Because this is not the job for you. And hashtag tough love. My sales. Yeah, I mean, depression kills motivation. And when you're not being active, your sales are going to suffer. I actually have 2 favorite stories. So I'm going to give away 2 prizes because I can. So Dawn's story about the Build-A-Bear shelf falling, I'm looking for it because that was really funny. When the bins fell onto his shelf fell into the car and the plush massacre. That's the funny one. I really enjoyed that. So Dawn, you have actually have my phone number because we're friends. Text me and let me know which guide you want. You can pick any of our guides. There's 3. I act like there's so many. I'll send you one for free. And then Christy, this. It's not funny, but it's a big mistake to make. I think that's pretty huge. And so I'm going to pick you as another winner. So if you want to message me on Facebook and let me know which of the 3 guides you would like for free, I'll send you a guide. There's plush, there's clothing, and there's jeans. I almost forgot what my favorite thing. What will I sell? Plush and jeans. And if you don't know which one you want or have a hard time deciding, this will take you to descriptions about them. They were all over the car in the garage. Listen to the mistress. Listen to the queen. Yeah, I mean, when you need to get organized and you have a lot of stuff to list, it's probably not the time to go outsourcing. I'm just saying. But make sure you have extra inventory on hand because You don't want to never not have inventory, okay? Because Keith and I made the decision in 2020, right before he quit his job and came home. We're going to get rid of our death pile. We have too much stuff. We're not going to thrift anymore until this is all listed. And then the shutdown happened, and that was fun. I will be found under a pile of plush when I die. Probably me too. Plush and jeans. It'll be both. Just crushing me. Hi, Pam. Welcome in. All right, I'm going to draw a winner because it's already 5:30. This is for the free month of List Perfectly. And the winner is Heather Paul. Heather Paul, you are the winner. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations. You get 1 month free of List Perfectly. I recommend trying Pro. That's what I have. For everyone else who didn't win a free month of List Perfectly, if you're not already a user, go sign up with code FlippinHippos. Get 30% off your first month and try it out. It will be the best thing you've ever done for your business, I promise. Flippin' Hippos, 30% off. And thank you so much, everyone who came today. I want to do my little spiel because it's Friday. Make sure that you take some time off this weekend for yourself, your friends, your family, your pets. Work-life balance is so super important. It's important that you take time off. Go pro, go pro. So thank you to everyone that's here live with me today. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you just as much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel and the video, and it helps what I do here. Such a nerd. All right, guys. Thanks again so much. Go have a wonderful weekend. Be productive. Make some money. But you know what? Take some time off too. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. Bye.